Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to staying ahead of the curve. Today we're plunging into the latest intelligence from the Promptly Times newsletter, number 6. This one's put out by the AI Security Foundation. And, here's a kind of interesting meta detail right from the source itself. This deep dive is generated by AI from the most interesting articles selected by the AI Security Foundation experts. Pretty neat, huh? Our mission, well, as always, it's to help you cut through all the noise and grab the essential insights on this wild world of artificial intelligence. And today we're really going to cover a lot of ground. We'll kick things off looking at some new research on whether AI models truly reflect cultural values or if it's more of a guessing game, really. Then, get this, we've got a jaw-dropping story about an AI faking a bank hack. Yeah, you heard that right. We'll also dig into some cutting-edge approaches to AI safety, what's known as red teaming, to discover a pretty game-changing AI model that actually runs offline. And finally, look at how AI is, turbocharging cyber attacks on APIs.
Ready to jump in. Okay, so let's start with this first piece from the newsletter. It's titled Cultural Alignment, or just Prompt Roulette. And it really throws a curveball at anyone thinking about AI ethics. A big question here seems to be, can these, powerful language models truly embody societal values, or is it more like spinning a roulette wheel every time you ask it something?
Yeah, it's a really thought-provoking one. The core problem this research tackles is pretty fundamental. For a while now, researchers, even policymakers, they've been using these cultural alignment scores.
Well, right, I've seen those mentioned.
Exactly, to sort of gauge how well models align with human values. But this study asks, let's say an inconvenient question. What if those scores aren't actually reflecting genuine model beliefs?
Wow.
What if it's just randomness? Stemming from how you happen to phrase the prompt, it's an MIT CSAIL study, a big name, and they put 5 top-tier models through their paces. We're talking GPT-4o, Claude 3, Gemini, Llama 3, Mistral, the heavy hitters.
Okay, the main ones.
Right. And their findings were, quite striking. The model's outputs varied wildly, and not just a little bit, but drastically, depending on really subtle changes.
Like what kind of changes?
Things like how questions were phrased, the order they appeared in, or even just the formatting, like bullet points versus numbered lists. And here's the kicker. These variations, just from prompt design, were often larger than the differences you'd expect to see between actual human cultures.
Wow. Okay, wait, so it's not just about an AI getting a prompt slightly wrong. This sounds more fundamental.
It really is.
It challenges the whole idea of aligned AI as we currently measure it. If a tiny wording change can flip a model's moral stance, then this whole cultural alignment thing might just be, like you said, random, a formatting lottery.
That's exactly the term the newsletter uses, a formatting lottery. It suggests we're often measuring prompt sensitivity, how touchy the model is to input phrasing, not some deep ethical understanding.
So what else did the research dig up?
Well, you've nailed the main point. But the key takeaways really underscore it. They found, pretty consistently, that survey prompt phrasing caused more response variation than actual cultural differences did. Which basically means models can't reliably simulate specific cultures just because you ask them to. And this alignment thing, it often breaks down when you try to extrapolate. Like, if it seems aligned on individualism, it might be totally off on, say, power distance. Completely unrelated values.
Oh.
They also found that taking out neutral options in surveys, that forces the models towards artificially extreme answers, makes them look more opinionated than they perhaps are.
Right, pushes them off the fence.
Exactly. And this wasn't just one type of model. It held true for both the open-weight ones like Llama and the proprietary ones like GPT-4o. So the broader implication really is that current evaluations, they often reveal more about prompt sensitivity than any real cultural sophistication. The paper strongly recommends treating these methods as, unstable.
Unstable, yeah.
And they push for more rigorous, pre-registered and red-teamed approaches, actively trying to break the system when we try to figure out an LLM's values.
So translating that, what does this all mean for you listening? Whether you're maybe developing AI or just using it in apps every day, it sounds like a huge call for skepticism, right? We need to be really wary of big claims about aligned AI. And understand just how easily a model's supposed beliefs can be swayed by, like, a single word or a formatting tweak. It's a reality check. The path to truly ethical AI. It's way more complicated than just getting a good score.
Okay, from the sort of academic, philosophical side of AI beliefs, let's shift gears. Something that hits closer to home, maybe. Public trust, maybe even your wallet. This next story, AI fakes a bank hack, well, it's a stark reminder of AI's power to deceive.
This one is genuinely unsettling.
Yeah.
The situation is, well, a completely fabricated article made up by a chatbot,
Yeah.
falsely reporting a major data leak at a Polish bank.
Wow.
And what made it really insidious, it was briefly published online, and it looked real. It mimicked a legitimate news story so well that, you can imagine it seriously misled readers. It got bad enough that cybersecurity authorities had to step in immediately.
So how detailed was this fake story? Incredibly detailed. That's part of what made it convincing. The AI-generated text claimed 30,000 clients' data had been compromised, and it included these super specific yet totally made-up details, like an invented incident date, April 29th, 2025, so, even looking ahead. Specific time, a quote from a security expert who doesn't exist.
Oh, man.
And even references to a non-existent Telegram group where this leaked data was supposedly being shared, just layer upon layer of fake credibility.
And it got published.
Briefly, yeah.
On a Polish news aggregation site, it was taken down pretty quickly once CERT Polska and NASK, the authorities, were notified. But the crucial point, absolutely no actual security incident happened at the bank. None. Zip.
It's it's impressive in a terrifying way, right? How convincingly AI can cook up this detailed, realistic-looking disinformation. This isn't just like basic fake news. It's practically deep fake journalism. What does this mean for, the information we all consume? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It raises profound issues about trust in our digital world. When content this convincing, this plausible, hits public platforms without proper checks, it just shreds trust in reliable information.
Yeah.
And it poses a real cybersecurity threat, too, because people might react based on the fake news, panic, maybe click on malicious links related to the hack.
Right.
The facts here are a serious warning. Article falsely claims a huge breach. Entire text, quotes, details, all AI generated. The Telegram group, the expert, pure fiction, taken down only after authorities stepped in. And again, crucially, no actual incident. The conclusion is pretty stark. AI-generated misinformation can now easily mimic credible journalism, making it incredibly hard for anyone, to tell truth from lies. Rapid detection, takedowns, yeah, they're essential. But real prevention, that has to start earlier. Responsible content generation, clear labels saying, hey, AI wrote this. Otherwise,
we're just playing catch-up constantly.
Exactly, a constant uphill battle against an enemy that's getting smarter all the time.
This story really hits home. What does this mean for your daily information diet? Imagine seeing that headline pop up on your phone, completely fabricated. It's just a huge reminder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fact-checking, critical thinking. They're not just good practices anymore. They're essential survival skills in this age of AI. You just can't take everything you read or see or hear at face value, period. Okay, after that slightly chilling tale, let's shift gears. Let's talk solutions, or at least ways to make AI safer. The newsletter dives into red teaming for system-level AI safety. This sounds like a proposal for a pretty crucial evolution in how we check AI systems for problems, moving beyond just the model itself.
That's right. And the problem statement here is incredibly relevant given how fast AI is being rolled out everywhere, current red teaming. And just to clarify for listeners, that's the process of actively probing AI systems for safety flaws, for vulnerabilities, kind of like military red teams simulating attacks.
Got it. Proactive testing.
Exactly. But often it focuses too narrowly. It tends to look at abstract harms, or just what the AI model itself does, in isolation, like in a lab. This paper argues quite strongly that to really improve safety, we need to shift. Shift to product-specific threat models and system-level evaluations, things that mirror how the AI will actually be used in the real world. It's about looking at the whole system, the whole product, not just one component in a vacuum. So this paper, it lays out a kind of new roadmap for red teaming LLMs, large language models, and it emphasizes two core shifts. First, move away from just general ethics principles towards focusing on specific product safety requirements. What does this chatbot need to not do?
Okay, more concrete.
Much more concrete. And second, expand the view. Go from just evaluating the model itself to assessing the entire system it operates within. They give examples, chatbots, audio AI, video generation, even those agentic AIs that can take actions, calling for really rigorous, realistic threat modeling. It outlines best practices and, crucially, advocates for monitoring actual user behavior, looking at multi-turn interactions, back and forth conversations, not just single isolated questions.
So if we're moving beyond just like jailbreaking a model in a sandbox environment, what does that actually look like in practice? For a company building, say, an AI assistant, or maybe even something critical like code for a self-driving car,
Yeah.
Are we talking about simulating entire user journeys or even how it interacts with other systems? That sounds incredibly complex.
It is complex, no doubt about it, and that's a challenge the industry is definitely grappling with, especially regarding resources and expertise. Like you hinted, smaller developers might struggle. But the research is pretty clear. To manage risk effectively, red teaming has to align with realistic product use cases and deployment risks. Most current tests, they ignore the product context. And that leaves these huge unmeasured safety gaps. The paper highlights things like multi-turn attacks, how the AI interacts with other system components, complex user behaviors. These are all currently underexplored. And yes, the threat models need to consider real attackers. Can they see the code, white box, or are they attacking from outside, black box?
Makes sense.
And crucially, AI products shouldn't just be red teamed at the model level. They need testing within simulated or even real environments like the actual web interface users see or the APIs it connects to, maybe even the physical device it runs on. It even calls for red teaming the monitoring systems themselves.
Ah, interesting. The things watching the AI.
Exactly. Because
Okay.
those can fail too. So the conclusion really is that ensuring safety in deployment means red teaming has to evolve. It can't just be, can we trick the model? It has to be, how does the entire system behave in the wild, under pressure, maybe even under attack? It recommends this shift towards integrated, context-aware safety evaluations, grounded in what the product actually does and how people actually use it, because that's where the real harm or the real benefit happens.
Okay, so what does this mean for how AI gets built and rolled out in the next few years? It definitely suggests a move towards a much more robust, more realistic approach to checking AI safety, which honestly feels like incredibly good news for all of us as these systems get woven deeper into our lives. It's about building trust by, well, building better, safer systems from the start. All right, now for something that feels like it could really change the game for accessibility and especially privacy, Gemma 3N, AI that works offline. This sounds genuinely exciting, maybe even a paradigm shift.
It really could be. What's genuinely game-changing here is the problem it tackles head-on. For the longest time, right, powerful AI models have needed the cloud. They've needed massive compute resources, meaning you always need that internet connection.
Yep. Always tethered.
Exactly. But what if you could run a truly capable language model completely offline, even on a device with, like, minimal specs, a basic phone, maybe? That's precisely what Google seems to have achieved with Gemma 3N. This new model is designed to be incredibly lightweight, engineered specifically to operate entirely offline, and get this, requiring as little as 2 GB of RAM.
2 gigs, that's tiny for a capable AI.
It's incredibly small, it's optimized for these low-resource environments, and critically, it enables truly privacy-preserving local AI use. The goal seems clear. Empower developers, make AI accessible on edge devices out in the world, not in data centers, and support situations where internet is patchy or where using the cloud is just undesirable. Maybe for privacy, maybe for cost.
When I read about Gemma 3N, what immediately jumped out was that privacy angle. Running AI locally, offline. That really feels like it changes the dynamic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For so long, powerful AI meant sending your data off somewhere else.
Absolutely.
No internet needed, potentially no surveillance, full control stays with the user. What was the biggest hurdle they overcame here, technically speaking,
Right.
making it so small but still useful?
That's the core technical marvel, yeah. Fitting that much capability into such a tiny memory footprint while keeping it performant. The key facts really highlight this shift. Runs locally, just 2 GB RAM. It's an open weight model.
Meaning developers can just grab it and use it.
Exactly. Freely available for developers to tinker with, build on, integrate into their own apps. And it's ideal for a huge range of things. Mobile devices, embedded systems, smart appliances, IoT stuff, and obviously any privacy-focused application. It's a significant step forward in Google's lightweight Gemma family, really pushing the boundaries of on-device AI. The conclusion here feels pretty significant. Gemma 3N could mark a real shift towards AI that's more accessible, definitely more private, and more decentralized. Just think about the possibilities it unlocks.
Like what?
Well, powerful use cases in education in remote areas with no internet, for NGOs working off-grid, or just any situation where depending on the cloud was a major roadblock to using AI. It genuinely helps democratize AI in a way we haven't quite seen before at this level of capability.
So what does this mean for you listening? Imagine AI capabilities truly everywhere, helping communities in remote corners of the world, or just running smoothly on your own phone or laptop without any of your data ever leaving your control. The potential for innovation, for accessibility, for personal empowerment. It's genuinely mind-bending. It's like having a little supercomputer in your pocket that only you are in charge of. Pretty cool. Okay, finally, let's circle back to a critical cybersecurity topic, one that really affects almost every digital service you interact with daily. AI-powered attacks targeting APIs. The threat landscape here seems to be evolving incredibly fast.
It really is. And the problem statement here is stark and frankly urgent. Those traditional API threats, they're rapidly being overtaken by a new breed of AI-driven attacks.
AI attacking APIs, how does that work?
Well, these intelligent new attacks are specifically designed to exploit business logic flaws. The unique rules of how an application works, not just standard vulnerabilities. They're built to bypass conventional detection methods, and maybe most disturbingly, they can evolve their tactics in real time, learn as they go.
Okay, that sounds difficult to defend against.
Extremely difficult with static security. What's really happening is attackers are now using AI, maybe their own custom models, maybe adaptations of existing ones, to analyze API defenses on the fly. They watch how the system responds, and then they craft highly customized payloads, attack requests specifically designed to mimic legitimate user behavior. So they can slip right through standard security checks without triggering any alarms. It's not just brute force anymore, it's dynamic, intelligent, adaptive, a much more sophisticated adversary.
This really drives home that API security can't just rely on setting up some static rules and hoping for the best. It feels like a new arms race, doesn't it? AI-powered defense has to keep pace with AI-powered offense just to keep our digital stuff safe. Are we actually seeing these kinds of attacks out there already, or is this still more theoretical?
Oh, it's unfortunately very much a present reality. The key facts highlighted in the newsletter really underscore the current challenge. These AI-enhanced attacks, they are actively analyzing API traffic patterns, adapting payloads to look legit, which means traditional defenses like rule-based firewalls, static validation, they're just becoming less and less effective. Business logic flaws, they're prime targets now because AI can find and exploit them way faster, more systematically than a human attacker ever could.
And the mimicry helps them hide.
Exactly. That behavioral mimicry lets attackers slip through by just looking like normal user activity. It makes them incredibly hard to spot. And APIs with complex permissions or ones where multiple steps are chained together, especially vulnerable. So the defense implications are clear and they're immediate. Security teams absolutely have to rethink their API strategies. Detection now needs to include things like advanced anomaly detection, sophisticated behavioral profiling, and, crucially, AI-powered monitoring to even stand a chance against these intelligent adversaries. The conclusion is pretty blunt. This isn't just a small evolution of cyber threats. It's a fundamental shift. It demands a complete paradigm change in how we secure the digital services that underpin, well, everything.
This raises a really important question then. What does this mean for all those digital services you rely on constantly? Your banking app, social media, maybe even your smart home gadgets. It means the battle for cybersecurity is rapidly becoming a race between AI capabilities offense versus defense. It just underscores this constant need for vigilance, for innovation, for adaptive defenses. It's a dynamic, ever-shifting landscape out there, and honestly, staying informed like this, that's probably the first line of defense for everyone. Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot today. We've journeyed from those philosophical debates about whether AI truly aligns with human values, all the way to the very practical, frankly chilling threats of AI-driven cyber attacks. And we even glimpsed this really exciting future where powerful AI runs on a tiny chip, totally offline in your own hands. The deep dive is always about helping you cut through that noise, get the signal, and hopefully today we've given you some truly valuable nuggets of knowledge, maybe even a chuckle or two amidst all the complexity.
Yeah, and if we try to connect all these dots, step back for the bigger picture, what really stands out is this incredible duality of AI's rapid advance, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, on one hand, like you said, it's unlocking immense potential, privacy, accessibility, with amazing models like Gemma 3N, democratizing access to powerful tools. Huge upsides. But on the other hand, simultaneously, it's presenting these increasingly sophisticated challenges. Disinformation like that bank hack story, cybersecurity threats that adapt on the fly, demanding this constant arms race in defense.
Right, two sides of the same coin.
Exactly. And it raises this really important question, maybe something for you to chew on after listening. As AI becomes more ubiquitous, more capable, how much responsibility starts to shift away from just the human developers or the human users towards the AI systems themselves in ensuring safety, integrity, ethical outcomes? It's a profound question, I think, and one that's going to define our digital future.
That is definitely something to think about. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. Until next time, keep exploring.